Inflation is a pervasive economic phenomenon, gradually diminishing the value of currency and affecting individuals across different spectrums. However, the ramifications of inflation may not be uniform, varying in intensity and manifestation. According to US Senator Rand Paul, the repercussions of rising prices have been particularly pronounced among blue-collar workers, leading many in this demographic to gravitate towards the Republican Party. Paul suggests that this group has felt the brunt of inflation's effects more acutely, influencing their political leanings. The workers are for us because their wealth is being eroded, their dollars being eroded. They can't afford the trips they want to take, he said in an interview with Fox Business, referencing auto workers on the assembly line. In a recent appearance on the show Kudlow, US Senator Rand Paul shed light on how inflation affects different socioeconomic groups, emphasizing a stark contrast between the experiences of the wealthy and the working class. According to Paul, the affluent have seen their wealth soar amidst inflationary pressures. He described this as a dirty little secret of inflation, where the wealthy benefit from early access to money, which they then invest to generate even more wealth. However, this increased income is offset by the corresponding rise in prices, leaving those further down the economic ladder struggling to keep up. Paul's observations are echoed by widespread concern. A recent report by Oxfam revealed that billionaires worldwide have seen their wealth surge by $3.3 trillion since 2020, outpacing inflation by threefold. Meanwhile, the working class faces a harsh reality, with nearly 800 million workers finding it increasingly difficult to match the pace of rising prices. The report highlighted a staggering loss of $1.5 trillion in wages over the past 2 years, equivalent to almost a month's worth of earnings for each affected worker. This disparity underscores the disparity in wealth growth, with billionaires leveraging assets and strategic investments to outpace inflation, while many others struggle to make ends meet. Two notable examples illustrate this divergent trajectory. Equities. Stocks and equities serve as crucial elements in the investment portfolios of billionaires, strategically employed to enhance their wealth. For many renowned billionaires, a significant portion of their fortunes is directly associated with the companies they have either established or are currently leading. Companies possess the capability to adjust their prices for goods and services in response to inflation. As inflationary pressures drive up expenses, businesses that effectively transfer these costs to consumers through price hikes can sustain or even expand their profit margins. Consequently, this can result in heightened earnings and potentially elevated stock valuations. The Oxfam report underscored how large corporations were reaping substantial profits amid periods of inflation. It highlighted that 148 of the world's biggest corporations collectively generated $1.8 trillion in total net profits in the year ending June 2023, representing a 52% surge compared to average net profits from 2018 to 2021. While stock markets exhibit volatility, overall market performance has remained robust amid the prevailing inflationary environment. Notably, the S&P 500 index has recorded an impressive 83% increase over a 5-year period. Additionally, Oxfam noted that ownership of shares disproportionately benefits the wealthiest individuals, with the top 1% holding 43% of global financial assets. According to Gallup, 61% of Americans report having investments in individual stocks, stock mutual funds, or through self-directed retirement accounts like a 401(k) or IRA. You don't need to be a billionaire to participate in the stock market. Nowadays, numerous platforms allow individuals to trade stocks with minimal initial investments and no commissions. Some applications even facilitate investing in index funds such as the S&P 500 automatically, utilizing your spare change. This makes it increasingly convenient to build your wealth alongside the global financial elite. Real estate. Real estate is widely recognized as a hedge against inflation. As the costs of materials and labor rise, the construction of new properties becomes more expensive, subsequently increasing the value of existing real estate. Strategically chosen properties offer more than just appreciation in value. Investors also benefit from a consistent stream of rental income. Since rental rates typically adjust to reflect inflation, this serves as an effective safeguard against the erosion of purchasing power, thus preserving and potentially enhancing the investor's real income over time. Despite the Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes aimed at curbing inflation, real estate remains a sought-after asset. Over the past 5 years, the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller 20-City Composite Home Price NSA Index has surged by 49%. Naturally, properties are commanding high prices in the current market, particularly with increased mortgage rates. However, delving into real estate investment doesn't necessarily entail purchasing a house outright. There are numerous alternatives available, such as real estate investment trusts, REITs, and crowdfunding platforms, which offer avenues for individuals to commence their journey toward real estate investment and potentially achieve mogul status. Senator Rand Paul holds Biden and Democrats responsible as inflation ravages small businesses. In 2022, Senator Rand Paul expressed his fury towards the Biden administration and congressional Democrats for the devastation inflicted upon small businesses. Small businesses are struggling, and right now, the Biden administration and the Democrats in Congress want to add a special tax onto corporations, Paul said in an interview with the Daily Signal. 2/3 of the businesses in D.C. will have a huge tax increase. Paul revisited the Big Board, a pub in Washington, to support a local business near Capitol Hill and engage with reporters. The Big Board garnered widespread attention amid the pandemic when the city government temporarily closed the small, veteran-owned establishment due to its refusal to comply with Mayor Muriel Bowser's vaccine and mask mandates. Paul frequented the burger joint on several occasions to show support during its legal battle against the city government. "We came here to support them because they said at the time they didn't want to be the vaccine police," Paul said of the Big Board. "They didn't want to force people to show their papers at the door. They said, 'We're not East Germany. We're America, and we're not going to do that.'" Regrettably, Big Board owner Eric Flannery now faces a fresh challenge following the reopening of his establishment: inflation. "The economic landscape feels like it is declining," Flannery said in an interview with the Daily Signal. "Do I see a rocky path ahead of us? I do, and I hope that some things will smooth out, but I don't know if I have all the answers for them." Research conducted by the Heritage Foundation, the parent organization of the Daily Signal, suggests that the economy may be on the brink of a recession. Flannery's business has felt the impact of the nation's soaring inflation rates, compounded by ongoing challenges stemming from policies implemented by the DC government. "I think there's a wide-ranging economic effect throughout the country right now," Flannery said, adding, "The cost of doing business has gone up in DC, so there's more than one factor." Flannery finds himself in similar circumstances as many others. With inflation inching towards 10%, numerous small business proprietors are experiencing the strain. According to a recent survey published by the Job Creators Network Foundation, the overwhelming majority of small businesses hold a pessimistic view of the economy. Furthermore, nearly 75% indicate that they will need to increase prices for consumers to counteract the escalating inflationary pressures. The survey also indicates that a mere 12% of business owners believe that President Joe Biden is taking sufficient measures to address inflation. "It's all the Biden administration's fault," Paul said. "And frankly, there's a big difference between the parties. The Republican Party, frankly, believes in the freedom to be left alone. We don't believe that we should tax and burden people." Rand Paul slams Trump for endorsing worst deep state candidate yet. Senator Rand Paul is putting Donald Trump on blast for a 2024 Senate endorsement. On Tuesday, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul launched a scathing critique against Donald Trump, accusing the GOP frontrunner of compromising his purported principles by endorsing former House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Rogers in the Michigan Senate race. "Donald Trump just endorsed the worst deep state candidate this cycle. At Mike Rogers' form I is a never-Trumper and a card-carrying member of the spy state that seeks to destroy Trump," Paul posted on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. "You have to ask yourself who gives Trump this awful advice. Who's next, John Bolton?" Paul derided Trump, alluding to his former national security advisor, who has since become a vocal critic of the former president. Rogers emerges as the frontrunner among 13 contenders vying in the Republican primary for the Senate race, backed by the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Trump's endorsement is poised to solidify his position as a favorite in this pivotal battleground state. According to a February poll, Rogers was forecasted to lead by a significant margin, surpassing former Representative Peter Meijer by 16% in the primary. However, additional contenders have since entered the race, potentially altering the dynamics. Highly respected former Congressman Mike Rogers is running for the United States Senate from the great state of Michigan. Mike has served his country during a career loaded up with accolades and wins, from the Army to Congress, and now, hopefully, the US Senate. On Monday, Trump took to Truth Social to express his endorsement of the CNN commentator, affirming, "Mike will work closely with me to enact our America First policies. He will tirelessly fight to secure the border, stop inflation, grow the economy, strengthen our military, veteran support, and protect and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. He knows how to win, he added. Keep an eye out for further updates. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for the latest news and analysis.